Hello friend, it's BAWLER again, and I have some exciting news for you. Please subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think about it. Ukraine is making significant advances on the battlefield. Its military recently celebrated a crucial victory with the recapture of the village of Andrivka in the Sumy Oblast, forcing Russian troops to retreat. But the momentum doesn't stop there. Ukrainian forces are now preparing for a new offensive on Yunakivka, another village located close to the Russian border. A successful operation here would mark another strategic win for Kyiv, especially as Russian pressure intensifies in the region. President Vladimir Putin recently hinted that he might order an attempt to seize Sumy, the regional capital. Speaking at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, Putin claimed that while Russia had no official plans to capture Sumy, he wouldn't rule it out, accusing Ukraine of constant attacks along the border. He went even further, reiterating bold imperialist views by stating that Ukraine belongs to Russia and that Russians and Ukrainians are one people. Ukraine fiercely rejects this narrative. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, its armed forces have tenaciously defended every piece of land. And as Russia's military capacity weakens, Ukraine is launching effective counteroffensives. The recent liberation of Andrivka is a prime example. Though small and seemingly insignificant, its strategic location, just a few miles from the Russian border, made it a major target in Russia's Sumy campaign. On June 4th, reports confirmed Andrivka had fallen to Russian forces who used waves of assault units, often riding motorcycles and ATVs, to take over multiple settlements, but Ukraine responded swiftly. Just 10 days later, on June 14th, the 225th Separate Assault Regiment recaptured Andrivka, halting the Russian advance and restoring Ukrainian control near the frontier. President Volodymyr Zelensky praised the regiment's efforts, highlighting their role in stabilizing the region and repelling Russian units from the Sumy area. The 225th's history dates back to March 8, 2022, when it was founded in Kharkiv. It has participated in numerous critical battles, including the 2024 Kursk offensive. Now operating in Sumy, the unit executed a fast and effective counterattack in Andrivka, signaling Ukraine's capability to match Russian forces in head-on combat. Zelensky's June 14th statement emphasized the importance of border defense, revealing that clashes were occurring as close as 4 miles from the border. Russia has deployed significant troops in the area, and Ukrainian officials estimate over 50,000 Russian soldiers have amassed near Sumy. More than 56,000 civilians have already been evacuated due to the rising threat. Despite Russian successes in capturing several villages, Ukraine is clawing them back one by one. In his June 20th address, Zelensky again applauded his troops' performance, particularly their resistance in Sumy's border zones. On June 22nd, Ukrainian forces completed the full liberation of Andrivka. Though Russian elements remained after the initial push, they were eliminated or expelled in the following days. A telegram post from Deep State confirmed the 225th had not only reclaimed the village but also disrupted enemy operations, preventing further advances toward Khotyn and Piskarivka. The regiment's low casualty rate and combat effectiveness were highlighted as critical advantages. By retaking Andrivka, Ukraine undermined Russia's foothold, reduced the defense of nearby towns, and erased weeks of Russian progress. The 110th Motorized Rifle Brigade has since been deployed to secure the village against future attacks. Moreover, the recapture of Andrivka clears the way for a new priority, retaking Yunakivka. Located just 9 miles from Andrivka and 4 miles from the Russian border, Yunakivka is another small village that has taken on outsized strategic importance. Since the war began, it has been a site of repeated shelling and troop movements, with Russian convoys passing through as early as February 2022. Many civilians died in these attacks, but the local population initially refused to abandon their homes, building shelters and enduring frequent bombardments. Unfortunately, Yunakivka eventually fell under Russian control. However, Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky recently emphasized its importance and revealed that Ukrainian forces had advanced 200 to 700 meters across the front, reducing Russia's buffer zone. Russia continues to target Yunakivka, Andrivka, and nearby Oleksivka. Still, Ukraine has stabilized the Kindrativka-Yunakivka line. Deep state maps show fierce ongoing clashes in this zone, with Russia holding a significant area north of Sumy and pushing toward key targets like Khotyn and Pisarivka. Much of the Yunakivka region lies in a gray zone of active, unresolved combat. Ukraine aims to change that with a decisive push. Brigadier General Oleg Apostol, recently appointed as commander of Ukraine's airborne assault forces, now oversees operations in the Sumy area. A combat veteran and hero of Ukraine, Apostol has served in key regions, including Donetsk, Kharkiv, and Mykolaiv. Expectations are high. that under his command, Ukraine can secure more victories. But challenges remain. Putin's desire for control over Sumy has been evident since the war's outset. The initial assault on Sumy city was met with fierce Ukrainian resistance that forced Russia to reroute its troops in hopes of reaching Kiev, a move that ultimately failed. Local fighters and soldiers ambushed Russian forces, preserving Ukrainian control over the region. This resilience shattered Putin's plans for a quick win and opened the door to Western military aid. Holding Sumy also allowed Ukraine to launch last year's successful Kursk offensive. Now, Ukraine faces renewed Russian offensives, with military experts pointing to escalating conflict in places like Yunakivka, Yunakivka, and Yunakivka. Special concern surrounds Lochnia, where Russian troops are attempting to fortify forested terrain near Sadki. Holding that ground could make future Ukrainian offensives extremely difficult. Therefore, Ukraine must act decisively. Capturing Yunakivka is critical. Each reclaimed village delays Russia's broader plans and adds pressure on Putin. As the war grinds on without the rapid success Moscow seeks, diplomatic resolution becomes more likely. Learn more about Ukraine's liberation of Andrivka in our full breakdown video, or discover how new domestically produced missiles could reshape the war's trajectory. Don't forget to subscribe for daily updates on the war and global geopolitical developments.